How dare you speak before me? I love you. Hey, everybody. We are finishing Doom the Dark Ages tonight. That's the plan. I believe I only have 2 levels left. Actually, let me make sure I updated the game. Flynn? Cool. Cool. So we're finishing Doom the Dark Age tonight. That's the plan. Got about 2 hours of time that I can play this before I've got other plans. So we're going to try to knock it out. But, you know, first I got to deal with His Highness. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Give me just a sec, I'm adjusting Peter's monitor. There we go. What's the Ripatorium? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's not. So it's just like a arena. Hey, Vortex. I was waiting for you. Now we can actually start. Oh, I see. Ooh, I love that. Good. I'm glad you ordered it, Vortex. I know you're going to be really happy about that. Oh yeah, I forgot when we last left our hero, he released Cthulhu and was riding the Bifrost to hell. Cthulhu.
Signal detected.
Whoa. I'm not really controlling this, so it's just taking me for a ride. Whoa. Your favorite tracks? Okay, that's... Okay. Hold on, let me check on Flat. He's good. He's just staring at the trees. Okay. Oh, that's right. I got the BFC. Okay, that's that. Okay, I remember that now. Trying to remember how to play the game. Do I get... Have I gotten the energy flail yet? Or the... What was the weapon I was waiting for? Yo, that's just a big octopus. Or a big squid. Looks probably more squid. That's more squid-like, for sure. Okay, good. I was making sure I didn't. The Doom Mace. Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I'll bear it back one more time. My hands are still a little sticky from dinner. I had a chicken sandwich. It was very good. Lynn, come on. Oh, he's thinking about it. Oh, he's coming. What a good boy. Okay. I prefer BFM. Oh yeah, that's right. How's audio, by the way? Oh, whoop. Okay. I thought I saw like an opening, but no, it was just a trick of the eyes. Audio is good. Very good. Very good. See, it's green, so I thought, hey, maybe throw your shield at it. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. This track rocks. They buffed the music? Oh my god. I am on their spawn. I need to move. Let me warm up, I'll get there. What track's this? Because this goes hard. This goes insanely hard. I feel like I'm getting back in the swing. Okay. That's what I thought. That's confusing. I love that they actually just call it the shield saw. They're just like, we know what it is. Nothing fancy like the Eviscerator. I mean, there are some weapons that are like that, but with this, they're just like, no, it's a shield with a chainsaw. What? Like, what more do you need?
The old one has returned.
Whoa,
Who
that was
stand
cool.
before him.
It's a bummer that I didn't kill that one because those were some good hits. I hit them with pretty good 1-for-3 combo. This feels kind of Geiger. H.R. Geiger, whoever designed the architecture in Aliens. Is that right? Am I just completely misquoting? Oh, that's cool. This feels kind of like that, which has me thinking, like, what if the Slayer was in the Alien movies? They would be over very quickly. I like to think that let's explore this for a second. I like to think that the Slayer, his like immune system is a bunch of other tiny little Slayers. So like when the embryo, like if he got face up, for example, the facehugger embryo would, you know, like try to find its way to his stomach or whatever to incubate, but there would be a bunch of little Slayers inside operating the same way as the full size, you know, like an Osmosis Jones type situation, but but it's all the Doom Slayers. Yeah, it's just a bunch of floating shotguns through his veins. Ooh. The Dread Mace, nice. The Dread Mace delivers massive damage. Your target and nearby enemies has maximum a single charge and will refill your guns to full ammo capacity on hit. Interesting. I don't think I like that. Oh, so it does a lot of damage. Like, a lot of damage. Jeez! I decided I like the BFM. something? Am I stupid? Blue spot back in there. Okay, thank you. Blue spot. Looking up in every wrong spot. Okay. How? Like this thing? No. That would be way more obvious than that. Am I just freaking stupid? What? Wow, I'm stupid. Oh, what the hell? Oh, I see. I get it. I get it. Did not realize that. I didn't realize this had turned into a whole fiasco while I was 1v1ing that guy. Oh. Do I have to get a perfect, like a parry or something? So I have to kill the clones? Oh, And here I thought that, like, I was supposed to avoid the clones. For a second. to it. Let's go. I tried to use the mace, but the wind-up was too long. I don't know if you noticed, but the animation, he kept interrupting me, so I just kind of backed out of that plan. Unless if you're talking about the wizard.
Our own.
That's weird. Up. Oh. Yeah, but I think you have to wait for good stuns. It's mostly a parry based one. Gotcha. Been a while since I've seen one of them BFC arrows. Whoa! How bad did I just fuck up? Is it just through here? Yeah. What's happening there? Do I want to go up or do I go in the water? Remember when the computer voice said that my oxygen levels were depleting? What a liar. You're right. You were right, Vortex. The thing does some damage. What's the new Helldivers thing also, to be specific, talking about some commercial they released on YouTube? I think it's commercial or showing something new. So it's the Boom, Bring the Boom trailer, which I originally thought was going to be a crossover with the Costco guys, and I was really nervous when I pulled it up. But it's just a trailer, honestly, in terms of like pitching the game, probably the best trailer they've done. Set to POD's Boom, here comes the Boom. And it ends with, and Vortex, you may appreciate this, it ends with a teaser for Halo ODST. So when the Xbox version drops, we might be getting an ODST crossover. Which, that's one of the IPs that I would be totally fine with crossing over, because, I mean, it's not like they would have to say that Halo and all the events of Halo are canon. All they would have to do is say that the guns are canon. Right? I think they are a good match, especially if it's an ODST focused thing, because we don't get enough of the ODSTs. Halo could just shift focuses from being about the Spartans and be about the ODSTs, and I'd actually start being interested. Also, Sean, ODST stands for Orbital Drop Shock Trooper. They are in Halo, you know, Master Chief, all that. They are regular humans, so they are not Spartans, super enhanced like Master Chief is. They're regular humans that are highly trained, that are dropped in pods like Helldivers. They were basically the first Helldivers. And they're dropped in to do missions behind enemy lines and stuff. They were awesome. I agree. I think we should never get any Spartans stuff, and any Halo stuff we get should be the ODSTs. Such a weird mechanic. Back to it. Aw, man. These tracks are awesome. Where the heck did he go? Oh. Neato. Well, I gotta go shower before I push it off. Also enjoy some ice cream and study and download music. Oh, nice. Thriller's a great album. Okay, so I'm gonna save up for that one. I think I don't think I've heard the whole album, but I'm trying to think of what I've heard, whether it be from the album or for Thriller was the album, right? Because I may be thinking like a greatest hits album or something. I mean, the stuff that I know of, like it's classics, so. Am I stupid? Why did he just deflect all of that? Alright, later, Sean. Forgot about the interrupt time on the mace, so I nearly got myself killed. But, all good. Whoop. Get here. I'm ready for that Atlan level vortex that you promised me. The bigger, better Atlan level. Right? Very excited. So I've gotten myself kind of addicted to a mobile game, which is really hard to do for me because I hate mobile games. But it's called Mecharashi, and it's basically like a studio. My understanding is something like the studio was developing a front mission game, and then Square Enix blocked it, so they repurposed it into what it is now. It's not War Robots. It plays like Front Mission, but better, actually. It is a gacha mobile game, but the gameplay, I would say, is pretty engaging for a gacha mobile game. There are 3 more levels? Oh my god, there are 6 more levels. We're not finishing this tonight. I thought that I was about to start the last level. Vortex, why didn't you tell me?
2 cosmic relics detected nearby.
I'm never gonna finish this game. Well, I literally just found out. I still have 6 levels. The menu was hiding how many more levels there were. So I have 6 more to go. We're not finishing this tonight. Yeah, I'm on chapter 16 of 22. And Vortex just sat there and let it happen. He knew. Oh my god, come on. I ran too fast and I hit a speed bump and fell. Almost did it again. Was I supposed to do something here? Or did that just open up the... Whatever, I'm moving on. Okay. What do we got? What do we got, game? It's telling me the fight is on. Ooh. What am I to do? Switch weapons! I'm gonna go reassess. Screw it. I need to diversify my weapons. Oh my god. Pretty sneaky. That was a waste of that. Oh, shoot. After a hard fight, one. Doomslayer trips and falls off a cliff and dies. Ah, Courtney! Glad you could make it. This is not the final Doom, the Dark Ages. Oh, hey, Lily. Lily, I don't know if you should be watching this game. Ask your mom if you can watch this. Yeah, Courtney's back, Vortex. She quit her job. She's very happy about it. A jade thing.
Relic acquired. One remaining.
Lily, ask your mom if you can watch Doom.
Ascension is now.
She'll know what Doom is.
No longer shall
She
we
said
be
it's fine.
shackled
Okay.
to a dying cosmos.
I'm just gonna let that run. Whoa, that's cool. This is Courtney, it's fine. Thank you for asking her double check. Love you, dude. You got it. Whoa. Is it moving? Is it moving, or am I just... No, I'm just having a moment. Nope. Jokey time. Let's hear it, Lily. Hit me with a jokey. Oh, I see what I was supposed to do. No! I think I've ruined this whole thing. I'm rusty, so don't blame me. Of course not. What did the owl say when she saw the party? This is a hoot. I love it. I love owl humor. Vortex, am I wasting my time? Is this just a bonus room? This feels way too, Aha! I figured it out. Vortex, I figured it out before you helped me. Haha! So it was all secret area. Awesome. Awesome. Love that. Siphon the powers of Brian? Oh gosh! Brian. There's an Igor movie? I did it, whatever that does. Oh, here we go. I'm about to upgrade my shoulder turret that I love so much. Childhood movie. Okay. So it came out, what, like 2004? These are like the same sound I heard in a kid's game, Halloween minigame. Was it like a game you played on the internet? Is it like a... Boo. I see you! Get wrecked, nerd! Wait, oh, it's on Roblox. Okay, I've never played Roblox, Lily. I know a lot of people love it, though. Hey, you should tell Mr. Vortex in the chat, Mr. Vortex, why Roblox is better than Doom. Roblox has that game they're currently playing, probably. You think Roblox has Doom? Probably pretty good, right? I mean, id does a fine job, but if anyone knows what it means to be a Doom game, it's Roblox. Am I caught in an infinite loop? What is happening? What is happening? Vortex? Is this an SCP? Am I trapped? What do I do? Am I climbing? Am I descending? Use my Brian? Well, I'm assuming that I just need to go backward. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Was that a BFC arrow? Vortex, you ruined Lily's grammar. I'm so glad I killed that. I forgot I had the BFC or BFM equipped. What's the Pokemon card, Lily? Which Pokemon is it? And what's your favorite Pokemon? Gosh, this thing is powerful. Vortex, why didn't you tell me sooner? Where'd he go? There you are. Like, holy smokes. Ponyta. Ponyta. What about Rapidash? Is Rapidash as good as Ponyta? I really like Growlithe. Growlithe is adorable. But they specifically used the mace on the annoying small one instead of the boss. I was enjoying myself with the boss. Wanted to see how much damage this thing can really do. Ah, another jade thing.
Both relics acquired. Proceed to the central lab.
Growlithe's the fire dog that turns into Arcanine. It's amazing how I haven't played a Pokemon game in years. I was never even that big into Pokemon. I've played maybe 4 Pokemon games my entire life. But I know so many Pokemon names. What's the good mod? I just kind of equipped mods. Oh, do I have to switch it at the... Oh, okay. What's the... Yeah, I could see that.
The stars bleed, and the void calls.
How close am I to this final Atlan mission? Ooh. Oh, I love Cyndaquil. I'm sure it'll be fine with it. Storms used to scare me as a kid, but now, like, storms are just really cozy for me. Good sleeping weather. Okay, Vortex. Okay, okay. Okay. Enjoy your slime ranching. very good. Woo! Tank. So we thought we were going to finish Doom the Dark Ages tonight, Courtney. But Vortex, cunning little sneak Vortex. Gosh, those are expensive coloring pencils. Did not disclose the information to me that what I thought was 2 more missions was actually like 7. So we're just working our way through Doom the Dark. But Vortex is currently doing big brain math right now to see if we're going to get to the next mech level. That fight felt really good. Money. I don't know what I expect. Okay, what track is this? I need to know. I hear the funky bass hook. This track is awesome. Freaking mace. Oh, come on! I got it, right? Do you suggest anything to unscrew a tiny screw without a tiny screwdriver? If you can bend it enough, depending on how tight the screw is, a paper clip, you might be able to bend it into the groove. But if it's a really tight screw, you probably won't be able to do that. This might be the best track of the entire game. Where is Vortex? The sucker is manufacturing tight. I'm pissed at it. Okay. I mean, if it's really tight, you're gonna have to get something that will fit without having to bend it into fitting, right? Or at least something that can withstand the act of turning. How are there boats here? Nail file. Sweet. Woo! Dang, this guy's aggressive. What was that dude on? I fought that guy before. So in case anyone needs to MacGyver something open, the hook thing on the end of the nail file and fingernail clippers can... Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, we're going all the way over here. Got it. That was a good fight. Also, like the... Okay, welcome back. Vortex, whatever track has been playing in the combat on this level is probably my favorite track in the entire game. Also, did you figure out when the outlet is? Today was my first Veterans Doctor's appointment with my primary care. Awesome. That's great. That's great. Glad to hear that, Courtney. It is Vortex. It really is. Yeah, we needed Vortex to name a track, but when we needed him most, he vanished. A Diva Lullaby? Interesting. When's that coming? My little arms. All of that for that? Interesting. Oh, man. Man. So we're not going to get the Outland mission tonight? Aw. Oh. 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 You think they sent him to fight me and they were like, this guy with his dog, he'll do it. I did tell Joey we'd be doing some Helldivers around 9:30. Because he specifically requested Helldivers. I think he's anticipating an ODST update. So he wants the super credits to pay for it. See, whenever the Doomslayer kills a demon dog, he doesn't actually kill it, he actually sends it up to heaven. This freaking Joker. That was such a good parry. Like, I don't even know how I knew that was coming. That just kind of instinctually happened. The Hero and a Monster on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. I didn't get the joke, Courtney, so I just made a joke about all dogs being good boys, so even Doomslayer game recognizes game, you know? Oh, you. Can I not shield lock him? Nope. Where is it? There it is. I thought I remembered that. But had to reconfirm. They really did fix the music though. Like, it's crazy how much better it feels to play this game just because the songs are actually playing when they're supposed to and how they're supposed to. Maybe I'm just crazy, but like it really does feel like the entire flow of the music is different now. Random sidebar. Did Metal Hellslinger die off? It didn't die off. It just kind of happened. It came and went. I would be open to playing it again. I just honestly completely forgot about it. But it did get a VR version. Or at least it's getting one. I think it came out. I feel like that would be awesome. But Metal Hellslinger is one of those games that I think by design, it just kind of happens and doesn't get updated. Because what are they going to do? Like, if they wanted more songs, they'd have to either record more or license it out, you know? Oh, did it? For some reason, I thought it was an online game and was supposed to get updates. No, I don't think so. And it may have gotten a couple updates, but I think it just kind of happened. People really liked it, and then it went away. Nope, that's not what I want. Let's try that again. Come on. 2 or 3 of them.
Life signal locked on. She is inside the temple.
Skull Crusher gives health. If it's... Which one? The okay. Gotcha. Thank you. That's helpful. Also, I've got the BFC. I need to just use the BFC. I'm so bad when it comes to, like, limited resources in games, just hoarding it. Ow.
Prepare the sacrifice. The beast approaches.
Am I about to have to fist fight Cthulhu?
Alert. Unknown entity approaching.
What? Am I gonna have to... There's a level inside of Cthulhu? Are you kidding me? About to give this bitch some indigestion. Let's go.
You've been ingested. Vital signs stable. Major organ located.
Which one? The ball sack? That's what you said. saw him. This guy. Damn. Oh! How did I miss that bad? Is this one? Shit! That might be the most weapon swapping I've done in a single fight in this game. It felt good. Gonna tickle his ball sack. Check your balls. Ah, yes, the testicle guarding tentacles. The tentsticles. I'm gonna just join the Helldivers VC on Discord. I'm gonna wait for Joey to show up. Because I don't know when he's getting one. Thank goodness Cthulhu has all the working machinery in his colon. You know, maybe this is what diverticulitis is. Courtney, I found out I have diverticulitis. I was in the hospital and everything. It was not fun. That was in May? April? Can't remember. Okay. Nice. The execution melee animation is the same speed as the right. Yeah. Yes. They're so dumb. not dealing with his bullshit today. You know, honestly, it'd be probably the most painless and biggest honor to die to the BFG or BFC. Because I imagine it's super quick. You're just kind of vaporized. And also, you were part of the group that caused the Slayer to be like, whew, I might need help with this one. You know? Check your balls. Your balls are doomed. Yeah! That, like, would have gotten the Doom movie 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. That was a waste. Remember when you used to be a threat? Remember? I don't. Damn it. Okay, that was pretty badass. Come on, give me props for that one. Literally heat waved through his corpse. Shit. was going so hard. Pro tip, if you use the fire rate duration on, you can keep it charged if you switch to an alt weapon. Oh, that's good now. I'm bummed that I used the life on that one. I was cooking. Chuck your balls. That was death number 2 tonight, yes. That looks unwell. Oh shit! That's what it felt like when my pain hit a 10, when I had the diverticulitis, or the abscess and the diverticulitis. It felt like I got BFG'd in my ball sack.
The old one lost forever.
Damn it. My Cthulhu kills. Is it Cthulhu testicles? Alright. Cthulhu. I can't even say it. My Cthulhu. My Cthulhucles?
Caution.
Cthulhu.
Signal is surrounded by enemy targets.
I see you're putting that weapon switch buff to good use. Did I? Or are you being sarcastic? Cthulhu claw. I know, but oh, cool. Woman. What's special about her that hell wants her? turning you into who? Am I right? That guy can't even do anything anymore. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Okay. The energy of an ancient god flows through her. Okay. Flynn, you look like you're scheming. Come here, Flynn. Who's my boy? So cool. Good boy, Flynn. Good boy. Insert joke about Pedro Pascal feeling anxious.
Her energy is too powerful. Even for you. The Sentinels know so little about themselves. She has the spirit of an ancient Sentinel god within her. A wraith who are descendants of this realm. Here, her energy becomes fully realized.
What? Hey, Draconis.
And it can be harnessed. We should kill him.
So they are working together. Or was that obvious already?
We'll need something more permanent. Etrigos, Zarath, Mazuke.
Dude's just like, I can't cast magic, I'm just fat. Okay. So, was that a reveal just then, though, Vortex, or did we already know that? Because I thought he was in cahoots the whole time. Maybe not the whole time, but, like, for a while, I feel like. Okay, no one's here yet, so we're going to keep on trucking. It's a good time, Draconis. I strongly recommend when it goes on sale. I feel like it will go on
The
sale.
crew came back.
Probably not this year,
And the Slayer.
but I could see this
Nothing.
dropping to $30 during big
Get him
sales.
on.
Okay, gotcha.
Bishop Creed.
Boop.
Where is Thera?
The Slayer came, and there was a struggle. We should leave. Now.
Well, yeah, Draconis, it just came out a couple months ago. Have you played the previous Doom games? They're all great. Oh, it's still on sale now. I see. Ugh.
Everyone out, now.
They just left me with all my gear and everything. They left me with the shield saw! Also, the Slayer's kind of handsome. Like, you know, considering... Oh, I see. White Fatalis or Doomslayer? I'm sorry, but the Doomslayer. If Hunters can kill Fatalis, Doomslayer can kill 3 of them. He looks like Guts from Berserk. You think that was intentional? Or am I just, like, remembering Guts wrong? Can the Hunters kill White Fatalis? Can the Hunters fight White Fatalis and win? Hush, Blinn. I still think it goes to Slayer. It's a big creature that... Oh, what's happening?
Rage. Brutal. Without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear. Until it is done.
Wait. Did he just die and go to hell and respawn? No, no, no. Oh. Shit. Not Doom Guy Draconis. Doom Slayer. Oh, Berserk mode. What does that do again? Oh, okay. Not the same. Not the same. Because Doom Guy implies not the version we're playing right now, but like the 90s version. Oh. Yes, correct. Doom Guy was just a really pissed off, like, capable marine that killed demons. Doom Slayer is a force of nature that even, like, gods are afraid of. Yeah, what I'm assuming is that when he died, the powers imbued within him resurrected him in hell? Is that right? And so does that mean he's like literally unkillable? And that even in death he returns? Am I interpreting that correct? Alright, I'll be right back and get some water. This is his second time dying. That's the plot of the first game. Okay. Wait, as in 2016? And doesn't this take place before those? Would it be a spoiler to tell us how he's here now, Vortex? They literally kick him out of hell because he kills everything, but in this, there's an actual way to escape. Okay, so that is what happened, though. He was sent to hell. Oh, okay. Oh! Draconis is about to hit us with the real question. So that depends, Draconis. How does Fatalis create the black hole? Does Fatalis have a wind-up to create the black hole? Like, with Doomslayer, you're talking about the peak in monster slaying, essentially. Like, he is feared by the armies of hell. He fights things that could trash a lot of monsters from Monster Hunter. And those things are just chaff to him. So
Scanning. Vessel located.
So I hear probably, LOL, no. But again, the question stands. How does he, like, what does Fatalis, White Fatalis, how does he do these things? Because it's not like he just, I mean, unless if this is the case, it's not like he just thinks and then a black hole appears. I mean, in Monster Hunter, I feel like they stay relatively realistic. So monsters have energy that they have to build up, and there's wind-up times and stuff. It's kind of vague as to why he stays alive like this, but I'm assuming it has something to do with his connection to the Dark Lord Davoth that made him to be the destruction of the Maker World. Okay. Not him. What not him? I feel like I've lost the plot of chat. Sure. Okay, well, if White Fatalis does need to charge the black hole, he can still rain down Dragon Thunder. Okay. You've seen the punishment that the Slayer could take, right? And he's very fast. Like, even in this armor, which I would say... It's because you have to use scaling. And look, I'm not, like, glazing the Doomslayer. I love Monster Hunter. But I think you're dealing with something that is, like... Sure, the peak of monsters in that realm, but then you've got Doomslayer who fights demons, and that's all he does, and the demons are comparable in scale and strength to a lot of monsters in Monster Hunter. So if Fatalis is able to be defeated by a group of hunters, and White Fatalis is in any way comparable, not saying that they're equal, but in any way comparable to regular Fatalis, we know that Doomslayer power checks any hunter in Monster Hunter. So it stands to reason that if White Fatalis is comparable to what can be taken on by hunters in Monster Hunter, then Doomslayer at least is in the conversation in soloing that monster. His armor is canonically indestructible. Can he fly? He has a pet dragon with laser wings and a dual minigun chair that revs like a motorcycle. He can not fly, but he can jump super high. He can use his shield to magnetically pull himself towards a target. It seriously looks like you're in Helheim with the... Okay, wow, chat is flying. Okay. That's true if he has the Crucible. So I've had this conversation with Vortex before in who would win in a fight between Dante and the Doomslayer. And that's one that it really does depend. If Dante is aware that he is fighting the demon killer that has the demon killing sword, Dante will win. But because Dante approaches situations kind of haphazardly, if he is... The thing about Dante is that he and Virgil are so canonically fast that their speed is like... It's not that of like a speedster in DC, like a Flash. But when they're fighting each other in the rain, and their sword swings are so rapid that they create a, like, null point surrounding them in the rain, then, like, that is a level of speed that we have not seen the Slayer achieve anywhere close. That's essentially FTL. Not FTL, but, like, that's essentially speed of light. So Virgil, same question. Like, does Virgil know what he's getting himself into? If he does, Virgil could probably win. No worries, Austin. Have a good night. Alright, I gotta... He will... How will he hit it, though? Draconis, he's got guns! Like, all kinds of guns! He's got the BFG/BFC. Which, again... could at least... like... Look at it this way. How often has White Fatalis seen combat? And, like, had to take... Hold on, let me finish this fight. Because I have thoughts on this, obviously. Okay, wow, that was... I think Nero's getting trashed by the... by the Doomslayer, though. Because, like... I think there's a level of, I think Nero would get hit before Virgil and Dante would, and I think it just takes one good hit from the Slayer to potentially, if we're talking Crucible. Anyway, I have to admit, it's hard to compete with anime level logic. It is. Its bullet travel speed is poo-poo on a stick. But... does White Fatalis... It's the whole thing of, like... Let's use this as an example. Nero and Dante. Let's just use them. Dante has fought enough in his life to kind of have a... let's call it a sixth sense in combat. To kind of know, like... this will hurt if it hits me, right? Let's call it experience. I would say Nero doesn't have that as much because he's not as battle-hardened. If White Fatalis has not fought for its life against those with tools of hunting and is kind of left as the apex that does not have to fight for survival, how will it know to avoid the BFG or the BFC? You know? Like, how will it know, like, this will hurt, or... because animals, beasts, whatever, whether it is a higher level of sentience, they... especially a dragon of that kind, would probably be used to being able to shrug off tasks, right? So these are the kinds of questions, because, like... it's pretty easy to, again, using the logic of other monsters you fight in Monster Hunter, it's pretty easy to hit a monster. Because even monsters that have fought a lot are used to taking multiple hits. Because our tools are able to hurt them, but it takes a lot of effort to kill them. Like, I can't think of a single monster that is so good at avoiding danger that you're hard-pressed to get a single good hit on. Does that make sense? Hold on. Hold on, I just paused. Okay. Virgil should have the Yamato, so he could theoretically separate the powers of the Doomslayer from him. Best character I could have is the version of the Slayer, since he canonically gets stronger after each kill, which is why he's weaker in the game, since he's at least 1,000 years before trial. Okay. Technically, it's unavoidable since it has tracking tendrils. Oh! Really? How far does that tracking go? Like, are we talking like Darkseid's Omega Beams, where it's like it will literally find you until it hits you? Or just like... shouldn't have done that. I just think, essentially, here's my thought. Like, at the end of the day, here's my argument in the White Fatalis versus the Slayer. You're talking about the height of power in a medieval, barely even fantasy setting Like, I wouldn't say it's high fantasy. There's no magic. A grounded medieval fantasy setting, the height of power within that, versus the height of power in a high fantasy sci-fi setting, right? I feel like feats of strength, feats of really everything within this are going to exceed feats of strength within Monster Hunter. Okay. Maybe it's unavoidable. Okay, not like that, but if it's in the same direction, it'll damage them, if not kill them. And I mean, I would think that something of that, even if it scratches something of that strength, or like it's gonna ground a dragon, right? Every time I see you do cool shit in the game, like using a table saw blade, like Cap Shield, I always think of some of the random one-liners from Maxor's Doom Eternal. I've never seen that. First of all, I think Fatalis has the instinct to dodge the literal ball of god energy flying towards it. I think White Fatalis in lore has killed many hunters in the centuries of it. Okay. So, cool. We can work with that then. So let's say it avoids BFG. I would think what's White Fatal, like, do we know his physiology, like, weaknesses and stuff? Which I know that, like, White Fatalis... Is White Fatalis in any of the games, or is he just kind of like a legend? Like, the greatest of Fatalis or whatever. Also, for the record, the Doomslayer tanked his dragon. Oh, tamed his dragon, so he got... Oh god, so Vortex has brought a new argument to the table. Will Doomslayer tame White Fatalis? Yeah, does game recognize game enough where White Fatalis acknowledges a worthy, not master, but a worthy partner? No. So, if White Fatalis is so, like, ridiculously cooked, like cracked. Oh, okay, hold on. Hold that thought. So if White Fatalis is so ridiculously overpowered and strong, why hasn't it, like, why is it only a thing of legend? Why hasn't it wiped out humanity? What essentially is White Fatalis to the world of Monster Hunter? Is it a reclusive beast of legend? Is it a god? Is it predatory to the human race? Like, what, do you understand the question there? Like, because if it is truly as powerful as it sounds, and like if it's a creature, if it's a hostile creature, then the human race shouldn't exist. Let's be real, if the Slayer can kill the creator of all dimensions flawlessly, Davioth also... What? Meat hook. Just he is a god in Monster Hunter. Okay, but like, what do we know about his motivations or his nature? Because I mean, they've said that Fatalis is a god. They've said that Ibushi and Narwa are a type of god. Like they're the god serpent, the wind god serpent and thunder god serpents, and yet they're killable as well. So like, the term of god is thrown around a little bit in Monster Hunter lore. And I know like Fatalis is held on a different level than Ibushi and Narwa. But you see my point of like, God in Monster Hunter doesn't mean the same thing that it means in this. Where is the lore that we know of White Fatalis? Oh shoot. Oop. But like, what is the lore? Like, I want to know what we know about. Because like, it's the whole thing of if White Fatalis is so strong that he nukes anybody that comes after him with any ill intent, how are there any survivors alive to tell the tale, right? And those survivors themselves, oh shoot, their story could have been skewed because all they saw was, like, let's say hypothetically, a bunch of hunters get wiped out. Like, how do we know what we know about White Fatalis? And again, like, sure, White Fatalis, even if lore is true, has never been killed. White Fatalis has also never gone up against a futuristic high fantasy sci-fi god killer. Like, that's the argument here. It'd be different to say, like, oh, the most powerful hunter in Monster Hunter versus White Fatalis. Because then you can use them on the same scale of, like, well, White Fatalis has never fallen to anything else in this realm, so why should we believe that someone else scaled to this realm will have a chance? That's an open and shut case. But again, like, the power scaling is very different. And there's a lot more provable feats of strength from Doomslayer than there are of White Fatalis, because everything of White Fatalis is hearsay. It's fable and legend. If there were, like, stories of, like, any kind of account of it facing off against other monsters, or so, like what are measurable feats of White Fatalis? Has never been killed by energy. Right. But again, that scaling is exclusively to other things within Monster Hunter, of which I would say the Slayer can, with relative ease, solo anything in Monster Hunter. So saying that it's never been killed by anything else is just like, okay, yeah, but we're talking about going up against the guy that trounces the power scaling of anything else. So like, what he's gone up against in his realm specifically is not necessarily a feat of strength against something he's never fought. The whole thing of like, well, he's never fought me, right? Okay, but what does that mean? Again, what is the account that we have of White Fatalis making black holes? How does White Fatalis make black holes? If White Fatalis made black holes and it was provable, then the world would probably not be around anymore. And like, if we've seen White Fatalis make black holes, like if there's evidence of that, what was the outcome? Is it a very like isolated, weak black hole? You know, like these are the things that we need to know to go up against somebody with a very storied, like we can see and scale everything that Slayer's done. But what is a literal black hole at that point? Like, are you saying that White Fatalis could literally make a black hole that could destroy the Earth? How do we know that? The fact that... Wait. So White Fatalis is in the game? He's not just like lore? Then he's cooked. If so, are we able to hunt White Fatalis and win? Not kill him, but are we able to fight White Fatalis and win? In the game, yes, but not in the real story. Okay, well, still, hunters who are regular humans. Let's call them metahuman, like, because I would say that hunters do have superhuman strength. Okay, but still, if we can fight White Fatalis and win in a game, then he's measurable. Like, if you're going to use... Well, he can use a black hole that can one-shot a hunter and send that camp. Okay, cool. Uth Duna in Wilds can one-shot me with a belly flop, but I can tell you that's not doing shit to the Slayer. So, like, again, it's scaling Monster Hunter feats to Doom feats. But if superhuman people with Monster Hunter weapons that do not have the arsenal that the Doomslayer has, if they are able to defeat White Fatalis in combat, then it's case closed. The Doomslayer can, because he exceeds all of the feats of any hunter. I would say by more than 4 times. The whole thing of like, if you're gonna make the argument of how will the Slayer get White Fatalis from it to the ground? Like, well, how do the hunters do it in the White Fatalis fights? If White Fatalis is willing to engage hunters within like circumstance where they can fight him, Doomslayer's range exceeds that of any hunter. You see what I'm saying? And sure, you can say like, in the lore he's never been defeated. Sure. But I mean, you could say that in the lore, yeah, like this whole time I thought that White Fatalis was just a legend, not like an actual tangible monster to fight at some point. And again, not like, even if it's not canon that we fight White Fatalis, I would say its feats in the game are canon, because you could take, let's use Assassin's Creed as an example. Ezio canonically was never killed, because whenever you die, it says this didn't happen in the Animus, so desync is happening, whatever. But does that mean just because canonically Ezio was never killed that he is undefeatable? No. Because we've seen what it takes within the realm of that game to defeat Ezio. Same with White Fatalis in his fight. You need to remember that in the game, charges... Yeah, but if White Fatalis is going to engage with the hunters, why would in combat? Why would he not engage Doomslayer in the same way? I mean, you could say it's the same for any video game character, but I would argue that we've seen what his armor is able to withstand. We've seen that he literally can siphon life force to keep him going just from dealing damage to his opponent. We've seen that he can handle prolonged fights really well. Now, I'll grant you that Vortex probably has the deep lore on this, but like just using the shield saw for an example, I don't know if that's strong enough to cut through Fatalis' hide. But, you know, something like the Crucible, like made of pure god-killing energy or whatever, it is. But, like, again, that's when it comes into play where we see weapons in Monster Hunter, like, let's say the Charge Blade. Hold on, I'm going to kill the music for a second. We see the Charge Blade, how it's able to cut through a monster, deal damage, but not necessarily significant damage per hit. So I would say that the shield saw, we could probably compare it to the Charge Blade, unless if there's lore that says it's literally this like indestructible metal, yada yada, whatever. But like, it's about finding similar feats, and I would say that the shield saw is something that's closest to what Monster Hunter weapons can do. Well, he died from that acid after he had done a significant attack to, like he had taken significant damage from removing his mark, and he fell a great distance. It took a lot. It took a freaking lot. Well, but if in the fight with White Fatalis can die from regular hunter weapons, or at least be defeated from regular hunter weapons, then what is Fatalis throwing that exceeds what Doomslayer is able to withstand in this game? And yeah, and you could argue the whole, like, well, he died to that, which, you know, video game logic, which we've established, you know, is shaky sometimes. And I would argue that, yes, a lot of the Slayer's lore can be, oh, you sly dog, can be kind of ridiculous. And I would say, like, that's why I'm not even saying, like, because Vortex said canonically his armor's indestructible. I'm not going to use that in this debate, because we've seen that you can run out of armor. So the video game mechanics of everything, like if we just go up, like lore to lore, then it's the whole Chuck Norris thing. It's like they both have a ridiculous feat based on something in the codex or whatever that we could argue the other could withstand. So that's why I'm using measurable feats of power from what we see within gameplay. But see, that's why I'm saying that the lore-based argument is kind of null anyway. Because if we're going based on lore, then I mean, Doomslayer is literally unkillable. His armor's indestructible. Oh god. Like, he has no weaknesses, right? He's literally killed God. I think what I'm saying, if there are measurable feats, you use those. So that's why gameplay is a good example for how to do this. So we've seen what White Fatalis can withstand. We've seen what Doomslayer can do and withstand. We've seen them both in gameplay. So I think using that. What the hell? I just don't know, because like I would need to see a fight, like footage of a White Fatalis fight, because I just don't think it's the whole thing I said earlier, taking the height of power within a fairly grounded fantasy setting and measuring it up against the height of power in a ridiculous high fantasy sci-fi setting. I don't think they're comparable. Because if regular hunters can take down White Fatalis, Doomslayer can. No question. His feats exceed hunters. His gear exceeds hunters. His resilience far exceeds hunters. That's my thing. Is like, you can do hypotheticals with lore all day, but using the measurable metrics that we have, I think White Fatalis loses the majority of the time. But we've seen White Fatalis' tactics. And White Fatalis doesn't just fly above his prey and rain down like one-shot black holes on them. There's a process. You're good. You're good, Draconis. And I'm enjoying this conversation. I don't want it to. I don't want you to feel like I'm getting heated. I love conversations like this, and I just have not been convinced the other way, because like I expected more. Plus, we're comparing a known god killer that can resurrect to a regular god with attacks the Doomslayer dodges easily in these games. Right, and again, like, it's attacks that if what we know about White Fatalis in lore is measurable through a fight that we've seen, and hunters are able to dodge or survive or withstand those attacks, then Doomslayer is going to be fine. Let's say the Doomslayer obliterated White Fatalis, even if there is one single scale remaining, it will regenerate. Okay. If he kills him with the BFG, which not saying he will every time, but if, based on what I know about that, there will be nothing left, right? That's the only circumstance I would see that happening. But even then, I would consider in the rules of a fight, that's still a win that goes to the Slayer. Like, that would be a win by incapacitation, essentially. Which, sure, maybe doesn't kill him. But I would say that he's capable of killing him. But I would say in those fights, like if you were to run it through a computer, I would say in the majority of them, the BFG would not be used for the kill shot. So in the majority of them, I would say that Y Fatalis probably lives through the encounter full regeneration. Okay, apparently the Crucible can just decide that something is done existing. But see, that's the kind of crap I'm talking about that makes it an unfair comparison. Because the power ceiling in Doom makes stuff in Monster Hunter look pathetic. A lot of stuff in Monster Hunter look pathetic. Again, you're talking to a huge Monster Hunter fan. See, I don't know if it would matter. I feel like... I mean, again, I would say hunters... You could argue that hunters... A lot of their armor has exposed biceps, but I would consider that a wash. I would say it goes in either direction, personally. And I would say that if White Fatalis is getting close enough to use any amount of exposed flesh on the Slayer to its advantage, then it's lost the fight. Because the Slayer's got so many tools in his arsenal that he can hit fast enough with and debilitate with, that even if White Fatalis, like, put some damage on his arm, even if he chopped off his arm, it'd probably be over at that point. Probably. Yeah, what are the physical feats of resilience to the Slayer out of the armor? Like, is his flesh super resilient too? Is he just like, are we dealing with like basically Captain America rules where he is a literal super soldier that has like either rapid healing or like really difficult to, what is his feat of resilience, would you say, Vortex? Both using gameplay metrics and lore metrics.
Final totem obtained.
Oh. Is Courtney still here? Fatalis could shoot a beam of corrosive lightning straight into the biceps. Imagine Captain America, but his resistance and strength gets higher after every kill. Okay. Is that a temporary boost, or is that like he literally becomes stronger for the remainder of his existence from that point onward? Yeah. I would be curious what kind of damage that corrosive lightning is capable of. I need to watch a some kind of demonstration of White Fatalis in like an actual fight, because I would be curious about like travel speed, range, damage, stuff like that for his ranged attacks. Well, here's a thought. So, Doomslayer can rip and tear White Fatalis with his hands, but he's not Reed Richards. That's fair. But again, if hunters are able to kill him with their means, or able to defeat him with their means, so is the Slayer. That is the primary argument. And also, are we talking like this Doomslayer, or are we talking 2016 Doomslayer? What arsenal is he dealing with? Does he have the Crucible? Like, is this the Eternal? Because, like, I would say at that point that, like, his arsenal in Eternal, I would say, is probably busted. Like, stupid powerful. He actually is pretty smart. He is a Marine and Gadgeteer in these games. He actually upgraded his armor. Okay, yeah. So he's resourceful. He can problem solve and adapt his way through combat. Really just wanted to get rid of that guy. So here's a thought, Vortex. Do we have any moments in the lore of regular, in like cutscenes or whatever else? Oh, is it still storming out there? No worries, Courtney. We're probably done here in a little bit anyway. But, are there any moments that we can point to of regular human soldiers fighting demons in these games with us? Because I think we could compare the resilience of those guys to the resilience of hunters in Monster Hunter. And that would give us a gauge of, like, if we can gauge what hunters, like, how much hunters could resist against demons, then we can use that to, you know, extrapolate what, like how much more scaled up in resilience the Slayer is compared to hunters. And use that to, you know, translate into comparing Fatalis feats to, like, if he can punch through Slayer's resilience. Does that make sense? It's shown they had weapons to counter them, but if you remember Eternal's lore and environment, they were losing badly. And then the Slayer came in and pretty much ended it within days, if not a day. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's 1-to-1. But if we're trying to find the common ground between the two universes, I would say hunters are closer to the resilience, not the power level. because hunters we've seen are extremely strong. I would say that they are closer to the human soldiers in Doom than they are to Doomslayer. I would say they're above those human soldiers a bit because, you know, they're extremely physically conditioned. Steven, I don't know if this is going to be a flaw or not, but looking at the charm screenshot, the deco slots are random. Roll to either be armor deco slot or weapon. Yeah, it's going to be a grind fest. It's going to be just RNG, and I really don't... Oh, hello.
Payment required.
That's so funny. I actually feel kind of bad for that demon. I've never felt bad for a demon before.
Vessel.
He was literally just trying to put the fries in the bag. You put them a tier below the Marauders? Really? I mean, so my argument for hunters being extremely physically conditioned is I would say the hide of monsters is probably, I would say, is stronger than the hide of demons. Monsters can take more than demons can, and if they're able to wear it and also wield the large scale weapons they are, then we can assume that hunters are like peak physical condition within that universe, right? Also, remind me, what are Marauders? Are those just the human soldiers? Oh wait, no, a Marauder is demons, right? I know so little about this game, and I've played a pretty good bit. There's a video of a guy that calculates the force of hammer swing. Yeah. Like, again, I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, peak physical... Like, I would say the hunters are, like, that's why I would call them superhuman. Because they exceed what is realistic in terms of human physical capability. But it's grounded still. Unlike Doomslayer, which is literally, like, he is cursed, blessed, whatever you want to call it, to have strength that surpasses reality. scratch my nose. Okay, hold on. I will say he is highballing the crap out of the power, but it's just a thought. Yeah. Now that I think of it, humanity did lose to the demons already in Doom lore. That's the original dimension the Slayer was. Wait. Doom is a multiverse? Everything's gotta have a multiverse these days. Shouldn't have done that. Okay. A silly logical answer to the question, can Doomslayer evade or come? My argument is that he prevents Fatalis from even firing a black hole in the first place. Because I would imagine that whatever Fatalis does to create that has massive wind-up. Like, it takes time to generate that much energy. That's my argument. And also, like I said earlier, what is the scale of these black holes? Because if the power of if they're scaling the power of the black hole to just being able to instacart a hunter, that's not that good. That's not that powerful. Because as we've established, the difference between what a hunter, like the punishment the hunter can take, and what the Slayer can take, is not really comparable. I would say he is vastly more resilient. Now, I would say he probably could. Because if the outcome of the black hole is simply that it carts a hunter and there is no damage to the surrounding area, it's not a powerful black hole. It is hardly like a planetary ending deal. See, you say that, but if Fatalis is out here firing black holes, then there would be no world. So the power of those is probably more isolated and therefore less powerful than what you think of when you think of a black hole. Like, for example, if the black hole has the AoE of, say, 10 meters in all directions, and nothing outside of that space is affected, then he can dodge it. One could argue, like, if we're, like, asking how does Doomslayer get out of something like that? Let's say he's outside of the range. He dodges it, he's outside of the range, but the black hole's trying to suck him in. He meat hooks to something nearby. Because the black hole itself is not doing damage to the surrounding area, then that is a reasonable means to get out of it. And this is all without using the teleportation that Vortex is talking about. I'm trying to not do that because that technically counts as battlefield removal, which is something you try to avoid in these kinds of things. And what would the effect be of firing a BFG round at a black hole? Just curious. Like, what do we think that would happen with that? I'm not even, like, trying to necessarily use that as a crimson. We're debating if Doomslayer could defeat White Fatalis from Monster Hunter, which is basically the god of Monster Hunter. I just looked it up, and apparently the black hole is planetary level. Is it, though? Because he uses it in the fight, right? Oh, shit! What track is this? So badass. So, did he just commandeer a boat in hell and find the gate out of hell? And full speed ahead ram that bitch to get out. Wow, that's crazy. So if I would argue that if the black hole that White Fatalis can create is planetary level, then a black hole that he would use to, for sure, clear the map and kill the Slayer is going to kill White Fatalis as well. Because if it destroys the planet, there's no White Fatalis. It's not necessarily about dealing damage to it, Draconis, in that sense. It's about creating openings. You can absorb it back. The planet? So, my argument with the black hole thing. can absorb it back. That's my argument, Vortex, is that if he's using a black hole that is planetary level, then there's there's nothing left. Hold on. That's the last mission for tonight, by the way, but we are gonna try to settle this. White Fatalis, black hole. So a lot of this is like Fable. You're not stupid, Draconis. You're not. I just think that it's one of those things where it's like a trump card for in a battle like this that is planetary level. If it takes something that, as far as we know, destroys the planet, then that's not a victory for White Fatalis. That's a loss for both. That's my argument, and it feels like, and this, I feel like you run into this a lot in Monster Hunter with monsters, is that like, because the lore itself is from it's the lore itself is secondhand. So you've got things that are like, researchers say that something with like Legiana and the way they create their ice. So it's theorized that if you do this, then you can stuff. It's all secondhand lore. So it's from accounts within the game. So a lot of it is going to be exaggerated or a lot more like legend, fable kind of stuff, right? So it's hard to gauge that, because I feel like you do run into a lot of that, where a lot of the lore feats in Monster Hunter for a bunch of monsters are like fisherman tales, where the fish gets bigger every time you tell the tale, right? So it's hard. It's a hard question to answer. But hold on, let me get some water. But, left my cup. But I feel like some of the lore in Monster Hunter, like I feel like in Rise, for example, I feel like some of the monsters in that, like, I'm thinking possibly the Wind God, like the God Serpents, they were gassed up pretty big. Oh my God, Minnie. So they absolutely can, Draconis. But one of the differences I would say in the case of the Slayer is that because we play as him, we see his feats of strength, so they're measurable. Like, it's firsthand lore. It's firsthand account because we see it through the eye, like we see it happening. Whereas in, just using this as an example, and this is all hypothetical. Let's say like Ibushi from Monster Hunter Rise is called the Wind God Serpent, right? And so you could say hypothetically they probably gassed him up pretty good, talked a big game about him through the lore, but because of the structure of Monster Hunter lore and it being like researchers and accounts of historians and everything, a lot of that is legends passed down, and so you essentially have a Chuck Norris situation where the legend is always bigger than the truth. Because at the end of the day, in Monster Hunter, every monster is killable. Anna just walked up and she was nodding like I was correct. We're arguing if the Doomslayer from Doom could kill White Fatalis in Monster Hunter, which is basically a god. Keep in mind, though, the Doomslayer is... He's killed gods before. He has a sword that could literally kill anything and decide that it no longer exists, essentially. So you essentially have, and my argument is, Monster Hunter, and I'm a Monster Hunter guy, you know this, Monster Hunter being a fairly grounded fantasy setting where there's a lot of, like, monsters can do the things they do through biology. Like the Zenogre, which is a thunder monster, can conduct electricity through these bugs that use it as a symbiotic relationship, so it can absorb energy from them to create. Like, it's all explainable. It's fairly grounded, even though it's still a fantasy setting. And then you have Doom, which is not at all grounded whatsoever. It's absolutely chainsaw shields. The BFG, which literally stands for big fucking gun, that fires a giant beam of energy or ball of energy that just deletes things from existence. All this crazy stuff. It's high fantasy, sci-fi, and so you essentially have the peak of power from the grounded fantasy and versus the peak of power in high fantasy sci-fi. So to me, they're not really comparable. But we've had a good conversation about it. What have we said? What I'm saying is from the codex files from the game, though, or just the cutscenes that are canon to the game. See, I would use all of my metrics as measurable, like first-hand account. If you have first-hand account for a feat of power, you use that. Because to Draconis' point, Doomslayer lore, even in the game, like codex files and everything, like the demons literally wrote epic poetry of him as the boogeyman. There's going to be a lot of exaggeration in there, much like there's a lot of exaggeration for monsters, because that lore is secondhand. So my argument is just, like, you know, if you've got first-hand measurable feats of strength, use them, and I think we've got enough for both parties to say that the Doomslayer would be able to kill it. He would not use the Atlan Vortex. That's I don't think he'd need it. I do think that White Fatalis could probably take out the Atlan, probably pretty easily, because I think in that sense, like, mobility, loss of mobility would be a big thing, and it would be a big enough target to where something with that kind of raw power would be able to take out an Atlan pretty easily. I think size in this case actually would be in his favor, like lack of size. How's the movie?
Good. I'm fine.
Good.
Who would win in a dance battle?
Between White Fatalis and... Well, White Fatalis is a dragon.
So flexible?
I feel like, you know, yeah, he's probably got some
Do the waves?
snake-like, you know, seductive kind of things, yeah. And the Doomslayer has never danced. It's true, Vortex, or Draconis, it is. And it's the whole thing that Death Battle runs into, where I feel like when they put, like, anime characters up against video game characters, I might have backwards, but anime characters are to such a scale where it's just not even fair. But I totally see your point, Draconis. I just think that based on what we know, not what we can say from legends and secondhand lore, I think if I were a betting man, me personally, if I were a betting man, I would bet on Doomslayer coming out on top, because he's literally the guy that I was joking with this game, Like the first 5 or so levels of this game all feel like they're the third act of an action movie, because it's like humanity's at the brink. If we lose here, which we're about to lose, everything is lost. We're all dead. Send in the Slayer. And then he just kind of shows up and walks through everything that hell can throw at him. And like, so just purely off of, like, if I saw the things that this guy did, that provably did, based on the first-hand account within the game of us playing as him, I would bet money on him to find a way to get out of damn near any fight. Because that's another part of it, is that he is a force that finds a way. Like, even if you put him down, he'll find a way. And I know we said, like, if he did die, even if he came back, that would be a loss. But there is a level of determination and raw fury that is behind him, where it's hard to bet against him. But closing thoughts, closing arguments. I'm gonna end the stream here in a sec, but I don't want to cut anybody off. Any more wisdom? You do have me very curious to, like, read about Y Fatalis now, by the way. I love a good, like, silver and gold or black and gold color scheme. I need to do more research on this topic, but I think with what I know, Y Fatalis wins. Okay. Yeah, if you ever want to broach the topic again, go for it. If you have any more, breaks in the case or whatever. But I would simply say that if you are able to use first-hand observed feats, like, hey, in the fight with White Fatalis, he does this move that we literally see, and it's capable of this level of destruction, or like saying White Fatalis in that fight has this much health and this much armor. Like finding ways to wait for it. There it is. Like stuff that is measurable. I would say if you can find that, use it, because that's a more compelling argument for me. Because there is, like, when you are dealing with characters that are the peak of power within their lore, it just gets too ridiculous. I love it. It's so good. I wouldn't mind more information on this Fatalis to get a better scale on it. Because Black Hole seems like the hardest one to get a grip of. It is. I would say the Black Hole is the one that we're all struggling. And I would... Fatalis is Chortle Vortex. There's Fatalis and then there's White Fatalis. Fatalis is... legend says that Fatalis literally, like, wears the hunters that it kills for armor. So basically, the hunters kill monsters for armor. The Fatalis kills the hunters for armor. Like, I'm pretty sure that's regular Fatalis. This is White Fatalis, which is on another level, apparently. I know very little about Fatalis, and even less about White Fatalis. But it's the peak of power in Monster Hunter. But good combo, guys. It's pretty impressive when I'm having a hard time getting into Doom gameplay. Yeah, it melts down the armor of the hunters and like wears it. because it melts down like the armor and the hunter and just creates like a plating out of them, right? Or something like that. But yeah, it's pretty impressive when I'm having a harder time getting into Doom gameplay because I'm enjoying the conversation that we're having. That's one of the reasons I stream. Good hang, guys. Bonus work for you, Draconis. Can Dante or Virgil from Devil May Cry kill White Fatalis? Or defeat White Fatalis? But, you know, we'll talk about that next time. We will be streaming Monster Hunter, actually, tomorrow, because a new update comes out. Can't wait to grind for more talismans and stuff. You should look up some power scaling for Dante and Virgil. It's ridiculous. There was Death Battle did a video where it was Dante versus Bayonetta, and Bayonetta ended up stabbing Dante with like 3 swords, and it was like, oh no, it's over. And then Dante just kept fighting with 3 swords still in him, and then handily won the fight with little issue. Dante is so cracked. It's awesome. But yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow. Monster Hunter. Good night, guys.